Hey, what is up guys, it's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be watching Amar play Dawnbreaker offlane. This hero, it seems pretty strong right now, so let's talk about a couple of things that maybe make Dawnbreaker offlane really good in the current meta, and how you should be playing the hero if you want to give it a shot. So yeah, he's actually playing a very weird build. He's going Armlet this game. We're going to talk about why that's good. But alright, let's break down a couple things about Dawn. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. Item build, 2 gauntlets, circlet, 3 branches. You're going to be buying a bracer. Sometimes you buy one on this hero, he doesn't buy it early this game. We'll get into that. And look at these HP. 900 health, 400 mana almost. Really good base stats. I mean, this hero has always been a pretty damn good laner, and it certainly is the case now. They also just buffed the W. It's less mana, and so that's nice. This hero's been buffed quite a few times. Its facet is quite good. Anytime you hit them with your E, or hit units with your E, it lowers the cooldown of her abilities. And so in the lane, this hero is pretty straightforward. You have kill potential at level 2. At level 1, you can sometimes skill Q if, like, Tusk is on top of someone with tag team, or someone's getting shackled by a Shadow Shaman for some stupid reason. I don't know why Shaman would have Shackle at level 1, but let's assume your Shaman's bad and you have Shackle at level 1. The Q is bigger damage, but the W secures the range, right? They have nerfed the W in the past. It used to be really easy to secure the range. Gotta get pretty close now, but yeah, it takes the range. Very nice, and yeah, I mean, that's about it. You kind of just use your high HP pool and very good stats to pull aggro and then secure the range. He's also hitting the melee a little bit here as he pulls aggro. Beautiful CS, secure range, very nice. And if the enemy doesn't dodge the W, like if you hit the range creep, secure the range, and hit them with it, that's when you can trade on them. And then from there, I mean, that's about it. In terms of items, he's going to be going a Bracer Soul Ring build here, which is solid on this hero. I'm not a huge fan of buying Soul Ring early most lanes. I think in a lot of lanes, it's a super grief, and it's 10 times better to buy Wand. This game, or this lane, he wants armor against the TA and the Ench. It's a purely physical damage lane, so it's really good to buy the armor. It's also another reason he should be buying phase boots this game. And on top of that, he is going to have a really easy time. If you're having a really easy time, you can go Soul Ring because you have the HP for it. If you don't, the HP mana item you should be buying is Wand, right? So Wand is the go-to, guys. In this lane, it's really easy early on. Lesh is a pretty good laner. He's also playing very passive. Notice how he's not actively just randomly hitting the TA. It's pull aggro, perfect CS, secure the range. It's very safe, very solid, well-rounded gameplay. He's not doing anything crazy, and so buying Soul Ring makes quite a bit of sense, right? If you have the HP, if you have full health. If you don't, it's gonna feel really, really bad. You're just gonna zone yourself out of the lane. So at level 3, you're gonna take your W again. I think maybe you can skill the E sometimes, but generally the W, the cast range goes up by 200, so it becomes far easier to connect on heroes with it, as well as the fact that the hammer damage hits twice. You have to keep that in mind. It hits them on the way out and on the way back. So if you throw it at them, you have to pull it back, and that creates a fire trail that slows, as well as does 30 damage per second, which is a lot. If people get stuck in it, it deals quite a bit of damage. All right, so for his items, he's going like the ultimate last hit build, which if you don't have heavy pressure, this is the way to go. It's just high damage with the blades of attack into the phase boots. If you have a lot of kill potential, it's generally better to buy boots, so you can stick on top of people, line up the queue, you know what I mean? That tends to be the better way to go. Alrighty, so in terms of the follow-up items, he's now got Bracer, Soul Ring, phase boots. You can absolutely have a Wand on top of this if it's a good Wand game. And then from there, you're looking to play with your stuns. Now, I don't know if he last picked this game, but this is a really good Dawnbreaker game. Dawnbreaker is a hero I would suggest picking when in the draft, you see that you have multiple stuns. So in this game, he has Tusk and a Storm. He has 2 stuns, 2 major stuns. Tusk being a hero that often has 3 and sometimes 4 disables. And so your ulti is very likely to hit. It's very hard to play Dawn when your team doesn't have stuns. The enemy they can cut your ult. And I think the best way to play Dawn in the early game is not really to save people, even though that is the highest impact play. It's easier and more consistent to just follow up stuns and get kills. After you get the kill, return to your lane. If you overcomplicate this, you end up being very, very poor. This hero is really good at farming, guys. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, this is a fighting hero because my ulti is like a global fighting spell. My spells are strong in the early game. And that is true. But you're also one of the best farming heroes in the game. You kill stacks, you can kill ancients, you push out the wave in basically 1 W if you want to, you one-shot it if you use both your spells. Like, this hero is really good at farming. Notice it pops a Soul Ring, drags the camps together, Q blows up the entire wave. Super nice. And yeah, now the items, look at this. He's got a broom handle. I think here he's kind of just thinking like armor's good this game. They have Pango, Void Spirit, TA, Ench. I don't think you have to take broom handle. I think generally items like Royal Jelly, so you have a bit more mana. Broom Handle, it's just so much armor. Like, when it's a good armor game, Broomhandle 4 armor, it's a really high number. Fight breaks out here. Again, you want to play off stuns. Notice how he's not just instantly ulting. He's paying attention to stuns. He's thinking about it here, for sure. Yeah, gonna drop it. That one was probably late. Again, you want to play really off stuns, and I think he messes up here. I think he would probably agree, right? I don't know if they're, yeah, maybe on the tag team. So if, like, off this snowball, he can immediately ulti off the snowball to give this guy as little time as possible, but he hesitated, and now he can barely get out of it, right? And that can be pretty problematic. He now has to kite out, and yeah, he choked a bit there. So really make sure you are playing off stuns, or you're playing off the enemy overcommitting. When they're overcommitting, usually they won't walk out of your ult. They're like going for a kill or something. Okay, even though he died here, he's still going to be super, super farm because he's farming his area, which is very common in high MMR. You're going to see a lot of people have a lot of farm. Drags these camps together, so this is really efficient, something you can do if you win your lane and you take the tower. And his ulti is back up, so again, he's ready to go. This is the point where you can definitely make a move. And look at this armlet damage, oh my. Look at this. What? That's crazy. Notice how he's not maxing the E. I think people will be tempted to, but I think the E scales like shit, frankly. It's really bad. I never understood why people maxed it. This ability, it really just doesn't scale well, where the Q scales incredibly well. It's one of the best scaling abilities in the game. It goes down in cooldown by a lot. It doesn't go up in mana, it goes up in stun duration, up in swipe damage, like, pretty damn good. All right, let's see this next fight break out, and you're gonna really see the power of the armlet and how much damage you can actually do. Again, you're playing off stuns. Love how he's going in for the chain stun here. Boom, perfect timing. Off the snowball, wow, what a play. I mean, the chain stun on the Void Spirit there was absolutely beautiful. And that's what you want to look for. And Armlet, really, it's kicking in. Sometimes it's a little hard to see, right? Just because, I mean, there's so much damage going out here. But trust me, this Q, when Armlet is on, is doing nasty damage. It's almost 200 damage per swipe. That's like a 600 damage nuke. It's going to do way more damage than a Finger of Death at this point of the game. And so when you have Armlet, if you're going to buy this item, guys, because this item is really hard to use, you want to turn it on and off depending on your Q. Don't just like keep it on during fights. It's going to kill you. This hero doesn't have nearly enough sustain to just keep it on like some alchemist or even lifestealer can't keep it on. You know, most heroes cannot keep it on. You need to turn it off. It should basically only turn on for your Q. And then sometimes if you're auto-attacking people, even then, often you'll want to just turn it off and wait for your Q. Because how this hero plays fights is it just wants to continue to play around its spell cooldowns. So at this point in the game, the item I actually think is best on this hero is Sange and Yasha. The reason why is it's hard to stick on top of people at times, so the movement speed is really good. Also, the Sange amps the healing from your E, as well as all just the natural healing that this hero has from Armlet, Dragon Scale, just natural regen for being a strength hero, right? So that's kind of the angle that I like. He's going for an Assault Cuirass here, which again, it kind of lines up with the theme of armor this game. It's why he's taking armor neutral items. The enemy team is physical damage. If the enemy team isn't physical damage, it's not, you don't buy an AC. You might be like, oh, but it's attack speed and it's my Q is physical, but yeah, it's really not very high damage. I would actually, even though I think Deso is like generally a terrible item, I would rather Deso than AC in a lot of games if you're trying to kill people. But yeah, I think to me the most well-rounded build that's like a mix between damage and frontline is Sange and Yasha, and it's a really good option at this point. It has a lot of synergy with this hero. Also, quick thing about the talents, he didn't take it at level 10, but he did take it at level 11. He took the Starbreaker swipe smash damage. I actually think both talents are equally as good, as the hammer slow allows you to auto attack people, and considering you're going right click, being able to stick on top of people is really, really important. So I actually think you can go either depending on what you think you need. From there at level 15, you're going to take Luminosity critical strike damage. This is a no-brainer. You're going right click. It's very simple. At level 20, the only reason you should ever go Solar Guardian Radius is if you're buying Ags, which actually is okay. If the enemy has something like a Faceless Void and your Ags is going to give Evasion and Chrono, you can just pivot back to Ags now. I totally think it's fine to go Armlet BKB back into Ags. This Ags is just good. Like, it's just one of the best abilities or best Ags in the game against certain heroes. It counters BKBs like Sven BKB. It counters Faceless Void Chrono. It generally counters like very heavy commitment carries. Like, it's not very good against something like Alk generally, where he's gonna kite in and out, but it's very good against like a Sven who needs to all in and kill during his stun, or like a Chrono, you know what I mean? So that's how you should look at it. And yeah, that's what I recommend. But in this game, it's not really needed. Like, it's not good against TA, you know, like, even though yes, it's obviously the Ags is good against every right click carry, but it's better against certain. So it's not that good against TA. And as a result, it is better to buy like just overall armor rather than like a one-time burst of evasion. against TA, right, which is in the AC. So in terms of farming, guys, like, just don't be afraid to split the map. You should be constantly farming on this hero, and I don't think the best angle is to just always be split pushing. Sometimes it's better to just be with your team. But if you want to get hyper farm, just play around your ulti. It's fine, you know. It is risky because frequently it's better to just be there and be able to cast your spells immediately rather than ulting in, but it's fine. You can really just flash farm on this hero. And funny enough, he actually changed his mind. I didn't even realize when I was looking at the replay that he bought it. There you go! This is why I'm going to be rank 1 one day, guys. I know how they think. But yeah, the Sanjin Yasha absolutely makes sense for the reasons I said before. Alright, so again, in terms of team fighting, you're just waiting for stuns. It's the same thing the whole game. The biggest flaw of Dawn is it's very team reliant, which, like, is fine, but some people get mad at it. It's like, my team sucks. They're not going in. And that's true. For Dawn, if your team doesn't go in, you can't really initiate. It's super cringe to try to go in first on this hero. So, gets caught out. Got a BKB. Wow, look at that damage. Oh, look at this Shattered even. He's hitting so hard when he turns on Armlet. What is it? He's hitting for 290 at minute 26 with a BKB and a Sanjin Yasha. 900 crit. Crazy damage. Has looked at the Arcane Rune. Nice ulti on the Luna. Try to keep her up. Oh, that Q. So much damage. Holy. Yeah, this looks really good. Dude. And it's on such a low cooldown because, again, every time you hit with Luminosity, it's lowering the cooldown. So he's getting these extra stacks. His Q is just on a much lower cooldown. And yeah, so every time he's auto-attacking and he's proccing this E, he's just lowering the cooldown of the Q and just getting it going. And wow. Yeah, I mean, monstrous hero at this point in the game. I think the next item that I would really like, that sounds a bit cheesy, but I do think is good, is Harpoon, because it's really hard to stick on top of people with this hero in fights. And the Echo Saber works with the Q, so kind of like, it basically lets the Q hit. So I'm a big fan of that. I can see why he's buying AC, as I said before, but I do think, like, if you're looking to really just kind of be a frontliner and stick on people, you don't need a damage item. Like, you really don't. You could buy something like Deso if you're just looking to, like, smash people, but it's generally better to just kind of be tanky and be able to stick on people. That's really how you're going to deal damage. All right, fight breaks out. Ulti's in off the stun. W in. Again, it's kind of hard to stick on people. This is where something like the Harpoon would come into play. This guy 4 staffs away, you pull him in, he would kill him. And that's what I mean. It's just clunky. The Q is clunky. The reality is when people buy 4 staffs and glimmers and, you know, they're using their spells conservatively and they're kiting out, Dawn becomes kind of hard to play. And that's why I think certain items like Sanjin Yasha, the movement speed, and the Harpoon can be good. But yeah, Q out. Chunking like crazy. Aegis on the Storm. Find the Bango. And by the way, at this point in the game, you can farm really efficiently. Like, dragging camps together is super good. Also, it's good to buy the Shard at this point. It gives you debuff immunity during your Q, and free movement during your Q. So it makes it much easier to use the Q. And I would recommend buying it after the Sanjin Yasha. I think it's fine to buy it after BKB as well. Either's okay. You just have to feel how hard it is, like, to hit the Q. If your team is stunning for you, you don't need to buy the Shard. It's way less important. But if you're kind of doing your thing and no one's helping you, it's good to buy the Shard to make sure you can connect on that Q. All right, let's look at the last fight of the game. Watch his damage pop off. He's got a Blink Queued up next, which is kind of the similar vein of the Harpoon. It's like a cheaper version, right, where you're going to be able to stick on top of people, but it can get canceled. Oh, look at that Storm Stun into the Q, into the ult. Oh, baby. What a play from the Storm. Damn, chunks through. Tag team with Dawn Q is so good because it works on all the hits. But all right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the gameleap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.